So I've got a problem which some of you have pointed out and freaked out over. Um, it's this, which you're probably wondering why aiming down sights is a lot faster. Just why it actually doesn't look that bad. Why everything's just really fast, like weapon sway is really fast. Some of you might have not noticed it, some of you might have, which you did. Yeah, you also might know that Roblox has added a maximum frame rate now. So if I change this back to 60, everything functions fine. Yeah, what this is the lerp function because, so yeah, it's in render stepped, so what that means is when we render, that's when we update our lerp, and our lerp is, so basically it's updating every frame. It's going to move a lot less than when we have a higher frame rate, which means we need to make it frame rate independent. I was going to actually do this anyway, because frame rate unlockers were a thing. I mean, we don't really need them now. I don't know why you'd want to go over 240 FPS. But yeah, and also, in case somebody had a low frame rate, we're going to go to framework client. I'm just going to find a lerp. Weapon sway. So we have this 0.1 at the end, and what this does is, whenever we lerp something, this number describes basically the percentage of a lerp. So like if it's 1, then object A will move all the way to object B. If it's 0, it'll stay exactly where it was. If it's 0.5, it'll move halfway, that kind of thing. This is an issue because every frame, we're updating it by 0.1 to the position we want it to go to. So, we need to make this frame rate independent. Now there's a formula for this, but we're actually required to use something else, which I don't know if we've got. Okay, so if we look at render stepped, you can see that there is a parameter called delta time. And if we read what it is, it says the time in seconds that has elapsed since the previous frame. So, if we have a higher frame rate, this number is going to be smaller. And if we have a lower frame rate, this number is going to be higher. So, we can use delta time to make our lerp frame rate independent. So, we need it. We need delta time. So as you can see, we get it from here. Let's just call it dt. And now there's a formula for this. You don't just times it by delta time. The formula that I use is 1 minus, and then the increment that you originally did. So in our case, it was 0.1. 1 minus 0.1 to the power, which is shift and 6, dt. Now we might have to change the amount, but if we go into 60 FPS, it should be, yep, as you can see, it's the same speed. Now all we have to do is go up here to the sway amount, right here, and just change it to something like 5 or something. Just something really big. Might be way too big. But on 60 it should look something similar. It's actually a lot more, which is odd. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's a lot more, but let me try 0.5. Oh no, let's see about 0.1. And let's leave this value as the same thing. And now while we lerp, I'm gonna try I'm gonna try a low number, like a really low number, and just see what it does. Okay, we're starting to look normal. 100 or 200. Okay, so it's a little bit off, like a tiny bit, but honestly, I don't think it's too bad. So now that that sort of works, we can always improve it later. We'll do the same here. We'll also do it here. We'll also do it here. Is that 60? And then, yeah, it's similar. We'll just add 2 zeros to it, why the hell not? I think this might be it. Now let's try 60 FPS. Okay, it's not exactly the same, but then again, nobody's gonna like go in and be like if they're playing your game, nobody's gonna be like, I gotta see what the difference is. Ooh, 240. Wow. So, you know, it's not horrible. I think it's doable, usable even. Aim smooth. Okay. Oh wait, no. 1 minus framework.module.aim smooth to the power of dt. Cool. We'll do it here as well. Now, this might be a pain, but we're going to go through all of the module scripts. How would that look, actually? Way too slow. But it should look the same on both. Yeah. Let's try adding another 0. I think it's still a little bit too slow. We'll do 2.5 instead of 8. Oh yeah, is this on 60 or this is on 60? Yeah, but now as you can see, it's framework. No, not framework. Frame rate independent. So that's cool. I'll just go through and change aim smooth to this number for every gun module script, which I believe there's only 2 for me right now. But you know, I'll also change it in the knife and the grenade as well, just because. Yeah, but we should probably do the same for head bobbing. So in character, yeah, we love it. So we'll do 1 minus 0.1 to the power of delta time, which we do not have delta time, so let's get it. And that'll probably be way too much, so I'll just add like another 0 or something. So now today, at a minimum, I'll start working on game modes, and I'll also add in, like, leveling up, that kind of thing. Which you can use as a base for your own game. So you can, like, have it so if you have a certain amount of, like, a certain level, then you can use, like, an attachment or something. You know, that kind of thing. For game modes, we need a way to handle multiple game modes and be able to add more in the future. We need to have conditions that'll be met which end a game mode, so like a kill limit, score limit, you know, that kind of thing. We need a duration, we need a map, we need a name for that game mode. And we're gonna need multiple of them, as I've already said. Okay, so we'll start by coding some of the logic for game modes. This will need to be ran on the server. What's going to happen is every round it's going to pick a random game mode. Okay. So we'll just do it up here, just at the top, because I got nothing else to do. No, wait, no. Okay, we'll put it down here, we'll put it in a while through do loop. We also need to wait. Let's just do 60 seconds right now. So we'll start with just printing it, and then we'll make a UI that changes it every so often. So print intermission. So this is like sort of like a cooldown time. Maybe you can like add in a shop or something, and people can buy stuff here. 20 seconds. Print. Selecting new map and game mode. You can have voting, but I'm not going to do this. I'll also bring this down to like 5 seconds right now. 3 seconds, and then we'll print game mode selected. My neighbor's dog is barking. So you see it says intermission. And yeah, it repeats, as you can see. That's why we put it in a while loop, because then it'll just repeat over and over again. So we select the game mode, and we need a way of... you know what, we'll design a GUI now, actually. I really want to. So we're just going to have typical FPS game UI. We're going to put it in... We'll do HUD, so we'll just disable the menu. I'll also go into test and enable this. We'll add in, not a frame, a text label, which will be at the anchor point 0.5, 0.5. Position on the screen, or that's the size even, will be like 0.2, 0, uses 0.2, 0. The position will be 0.5, 0, 0, 0. Yeah, I cannot do things today. I'm going too quick. 0.5, 0, 0, 0. It's too tall, so we'll make it a bit smaller. Also enable text scaled. Needs to be moved down a little bit. 0.1. Too much. 0.045 or 5 or whatever. It doesn't. 3.5. Good. Size 3.5. Yeah, that's good. You know how to design UI. And then we'll set this to like Team Deathmatch or something. It just says state. So we'll call it state. We'll also make a folder. We'll call it... Actually, we won't make a folder, we'll make a frame. Because then if we make a frame, then all we have to do is make it cover the full screen. And then make it transparent. So then if we change visible, it just makes the whole thing invisible. I mean, I don't know if we'll use that, but it's just better than having to make every single instance invisible, if you get what I mean. So then we need a timer, which we'll do underneath. And this will be set to like that. I'll disable the output for now. Cool. Could even make it a little bit. I don't want to mess up the size. That'll do. Create another text label, because we're gonna have two teams out right now. I'm gonna have blue and red, because that's typical stuff. And now I'll set this to red score. If it will let me. And this will be the blue score. So you can kind of figure where I'm going with this. I want it to, actually, now that I think about it, I want this to be on the right. It's aligned on the right. And this to be aligned on the left. I'll set the color of this to blue, obviously. And now we have a basic interface for our game. We also need a kill list, now that I think about it, so whenever somebody gets a kill, that's gonna appear. So we'll have a frame. I'll do it up here. Just however big you want the kill feed to be. And I'll call this kill feed. We'll add another frame inside of that, which will be, we'll set the size to 10.250, which is still way too big in my opinion. 0.5 is way too small. I think 0.15 or 1 will do. Yeah, that'll do. And we'll make it, we'll give it a color. Probably just black, and then 0.5 transparency. I'll call it just kill. We'll give it text. And it will say, we could have just done all of that as a text label now that I think about it. And it will basically just tell us that one player killed another. I will say player 1 killed player 2. And you can have this as like a more detailed thing. But I'm not going to do that today. I'm just gonna have it really basic. That's text stroke color. What am I doing? While I'm here, I'll also oh wait, I need to end this kill, and then on top of that, whenever we duplicate it, we want it to be like a list. So I'll add in a UI list layout. 0.05 0.2 0.1. I just want it to be a little bit. Yeah, that's good. So that should be good. We'll put kill in replicated storage under GUI. And everything else will be good. We'll make game mode invisible right now. And we'll also re-enable the menu. We'll go into framework client, and when we say select.mouse button one click, it will say player GUI. Oh wait, no, we have hood dot game mode dot visible equals true. There we go. The sky kind of blends in with it. I might add some like text stroke just so it's easier to make out. I'll do it in game and then I'll copy and paste it. Actually, no, I will not. Because that'll change properties of it. Also, while I'm here, I want to change the font of this. Just did something like this. Yeah, no, I'll just leave it. It doesn't really matter anyway. We can just adjust the map to work better with it. Okay, right. I think we're gonna have a function that'll change all of the text for clients. So, function change hood for IV in as game.players get children v local hood equals v dot player UI find first child hood, and then we'll set local game mode hood equals hood dot game mode, and then we'll say game mode state, was it? I can't really remember. Should have kept this open while we were doing it. State dot text equals, we'll come back and do this in a second, game mode hood, I can't type today, dot red score equal or dot text equals game mode hood dot blue score dot text equals game mode hood dot timer dot text equals. That should be fine. And here we'll have parameters for each of these, I think. So we'll have state, red score, blue score, and timer. Now that we have one function that kind of changes everybody's HUD, we'll try it out. So we'll say change HUD, state is intermission 0 0 and just 0 right now. It did not work. Oh. What the hell just happened? They're all visible. So we get players, and then we go into player GUI, and we get the HUD, and we get game mode. Hold on, here I'll say print found HUD, and we'll leave all of that as is. Play game. It did not find. Oh wait, we should say repeat wait until game.players.getPlayers or colon get players. Put a hashtag in front of this, so it's the amount of. So this function returns a table of players, and then hashtag gets the amount of things in that table is greater than 0. So it waits until there's more players than 0, so that it waits until there's an actual player loaded in. Because this only begins when the server starts, which is when a player joins, but the character might not be loaded, so we're waiting until that. Wait for child, find first child. Wait for child game mode. Repeat, wait until I'll just say wait. We'll just say wait 5 seconds right now. I just want to make sure that this is functioning how it should. Okay, so I did find the hood. That's great. That's all we needed. So I have kind of like a way to get around this. Which is this. And then what we can do is we can just change all of the default values in here to something more reasonable. So we'll just copy this and I'll undo. Cool. Here, wait for child game mode. Since this is going to be an integer, we should say do string red score, and then same with this one. And then we'll do timer in a bit because I have a different way I want to do that. Here we'll just say state. And I can try it. So it takes 5 seconds to like initialize. And then intermission 0, 0. And actually what we could do, because we don't want the text to load, we can just set these to blank strings. Same with the timer actually. Let's just plug in this is nothing, and we'll say do string timer, so at least we have something. I didn't mean to do timer. And then we can copy this and just say selecting game mode. And then he will say game mode selected. So intermission, selecting game mode selected. Now, with the timer, yeah, no, we won't update the timer in here. We'll have a function called update timer. And we'll copy what is essentially this code. And we'll say nin and max. So then min and max. So then what we can do is we can say local timer equals max bar timer equals max min -1 do. So what this is going to do is it's going to say while timer is equal to max until it gets to minimum, and then we'll take 1 every time, do. So we'll say print, and we'll just say wait 1 second. Actually, no, what am I doing? And now this is gonna update the timer every second. Now we could just do that so we have like another while loop or something, but I want to make it so it increments every so often. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say wait 1, and then we're going to say timer. Well, timer's already been subtracted from game mode hood timer.text equals toString timer. Then actually what we can do is in here we can say wait, no, we can run this code. Basically we can just copy and paste this, and then we'll say game mode hood timer.text equals toString timer. Now what we can do is, now that we have these two, all we need to do is we'll update timer here. Update timer. We actually don't need a minimum value now that I think about it. We just need to set this to 0. Update timer 3. If we try it out, it should have a working timer and a working... Okay, so we should set it and then start incrementing. So we'll set it and then we'll wait. Cool. So we have that sort of like cooldown period. And then it starts selecting, as you can see. And then a game mode gets selected, but we don't update the timer yet. So, yeah. And it restarts. We'll actually set the status just by default in Starter GUI to waiting for match end. We'll just set all of this text to nothing. And so now we need a game mode cycle. So we'll say we'll actually have a variable called game mode. Yeah. And it'll just be a table right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to update this table with information whenever we need a new game mode. So, first of all, we're going to make a module script just to keep this more organized. I'm going to call it game mode. I almost just said system. And I'll explain what this line does in a second, but we're going to say game mode .__index equals game mode system. And then here we'll say function, game mode system. New. And self. So what this does is, let me explain. I'll go through line by line. What this is going to do is we're going to run this function and it's going to return a value called self. Self is basically this. So usually when we start a module script, we'll say something like require script. That's not what I wanted. Script.gameModeSystem new, and then that fires it, right? What we can do is we can actually promote that to a variable. So for example, that I know we already have a game mode variable, but just bear with me, I'll separate all of this out. We can promote that to a variable. So if we have another function in here, let's say function, that's not what I wanted to do, function, and then we have to say game mode system, specifically a colon, and then we can say begin or something. What we can actually do is in here we can say game mode begin, and now in here we can do the same thing, return self, and we can add new variables to self, similarly to how we would add variables inside of an array. So like up here we can say like map equals limit equals whatever, and that's basically what we're doing with this. This is just a table, which if you look in here, this is also a table. And so what we're essentially doing in this script is when we're returning self, we are basically just making a copy of this table with all of the functions, these are called member functions, and all of the variables that are in here because of this line. So I'll explain that again because that might not be clear. So what we're doing in these few lines is we're running the new function from this module script, but we're also promoting it to a variable, which comes over here where it says, okay, we want to return self. Self is a copy of this table here. And what this line does is says, whenever we want to get a variable from self here, self is just a new blank table, pretty much, only with these functions. So what this line's saying is whenever we try and get a variable from self that is not in it, then we can search in here for it. So we can have default variables in here that we can change for each object, but you don't have to. And then when we begin, that's going to run all of the begin code on this one specifically. And this is an approach in programming called object-oriented programming, which is a whole topic. It's a pretty well-known way of organizing stuff in programming, like one of the most popular. And it's so weird in Roblox because Roblox doesn't actually support this. So what we're essentially doing is creating like a mock version of it, but it works pretty well. And it's better in other languages, like for example C++, because that is object-oriented as a whole, really. Now, you might not understand this, and that's fine, we'll explain it in more detail. But what we're going to need is, well, when we create we can actually say game mode equals require script.gameModeSystem new. And now we need variables in here. We need we can have everything. We can have a map, we can have a name, all sorts of stuff. So we can say self.name equals nothing, self.limits equals and we'll do this in a table. Limits will have a time limit. We'll have a kill limit. We'll have a score limit. Something like that. We could do. Actually, I will have a score limit. It says self.map equals an empty string. Actually, no, we'll do another array because we're gonna have more classes. We're gonna have another class for like maps. Now, you can use this system to make whole games. I didn't in the series because I thought I knew a lot of beginners were going to follow it. I didn't think as many people would, but I didn't use this in the whole series because one, I didn't really know it that well at the time, and I didn't really want to talk about a topic that I'm not great at. I'm pretty horrible at. It'd probably be a lot better to format the entire game like this because it's way more structured. But it's also a little bit more confusing. We'll just have another function called game mode system. Game mode system. We'll say begin. Actually, we'll change. No. We'll just have a table called settings with a capital S. And then we'll say in here, we'll say game mode on begin. And we'll put an array in here. And we'll say, well, actually, we don't need to say anything. Since this is going to be random, we don't actually need to say anything as a parameter now that I think about it. So we can get this, and we'll have a list. Game modes equals. And now we can basically have a list of game modes, so we'll say team deathmatch equals. Now we don't really need a name because we can just read this. Limits. And then nummap, we just need limits. Time limit equals 0. Kill limit equals 0. And score limit equals 0. Now I'm just gonna copy this a few times and change it up. We also want to put commas in. So you can add multiple game modes pretty easily. Time limit, this will be 600, that's 10 minutes. Seconds, kills, 100. Score limit 0 because we don't want one. Score limit on here will be like 100. And we'll do like 10 per capture or something. Time limit, this will be 900, so that's 15 minutes. Time limit here will be 600, 10 minutes. Kill limit will be 150. Cool. So now that we have a list of game modes, we'll just return self down here, just already. And we'll say for I v in game modes do. So print v. So if I print v, it should print out all of the contents of each game mode. When we begin, that is. This episode's gonna have to be edited down a lot, because there's a lot of me just waiting. I could just fire this immediately, just to see what I get out of it. Yeah, but there. We get all of the stuff that we need. So if I print I, that should print the name of each table. So yeah, prints all of the names in a random order, notice. But it's in a random order, which is fine. And the way I'm gonna do it is, I don't think we can just do on this. Yeah, no, we can't. I'll say local total game modes equals 0. And here I'll say total game modes plus equals 1. Underneath here I'll say total game modes equals math.random 1 to total game modes. And underneath here I'll go for IV in game modes. Again, probably not the most efficient way to do it, but it's just the first thing that popped into my head. Then we can say, we'll create a variable called temp and set that to 0. We'll say temp plus equals 1 if temp equals total game modes, double equals, I'm not thinking, then break. Now, what is this doing? So, create a variable called total game modes, set it to 0, and then we filter through this list here. Should probably do that in a separate module script, but it's fine for now. Yeah, we loop through that list, and every time we increment, we add 1. So there's 3 instances, so we're gonna get 3. And then we're going to do math.random. We're not creating a new variable because that would take up space in memory, and you know, it's just better for optimization. It's really small, it's a really small optimization, but you know, might as well. Nobody's really gonna notice. We do math.random 1 to total game modes. Because this hasn't assigned yet, this will still be set to 3, so we get a random number between 1 and 3, or whatever, however many game modes you have, and it assigns it to this. Create a temp variable, do the same thing up here, down here, but we check if temp is equal to total game modes, and if it is, then we break. So we stop looping, and then we come out of this loop and we return. So what we can do here is we can say self dot name equals I, self dot limit equals v dot limits, and we can say, actually no, we'll do map in a second. Now we need a map, so we'll say self.map equals, and then we'll create another module script as a parent of this one, call it map system or something. Same structure. Function map system colon, very important, I've already mentioned that. New. Create another table. Local maps equals, and we'll have map 1 equals, and we'll create a new table for it. Map 2 equals, create a new table for it. And the way I think I'm gonna do this is, in here we'll say, not in limits, just out here we'll say maps equals, and we'll make a new array. Map 1, map 2, that's how many maps I'll have for now. And what this is going to do is it's going to let us do specific maps for specific game modes. If you really want to do that, you don't have to. And we actually don't really need this, now that I think about it. Yeah, no, we can just do map 1, map 2. And then here, just to be safe, we can say require. Oh no, no, no. Local map system equals require script dot map system. And then we can say map system local maps equals map system dot maps. I don't know if we have to actually put this in here. And if we did, it wouldn't be a local variable, and we need a comma here. Yeah, no, we need that. So then we can say maps. Oh. Maps.map1. I think I'll give them names, so map1 equals. It's really weird, but I think that's what we'll do. So we can say maps.map1, and it's just a lot better on the eyes in this script. Cool. So now we can say map system new. So when we fire a new map system, we're going to pass through self. And we'll say game mode. I actually want to print game mode just to see what we get. Because I'm kind of going so fast. I'm going fast that I'm like confusing myself. Also, I just want to check for errors because you never know. It's better to check more frequently than not check at all. Yeah, it works. And as you can see, we've got everything that we need. So, now that we passed that through, we can say for local map equals map.random 1 to hashtag game mode.maps. And I'll say print map. I just want to see if this works. We got an error. Attempt to get length of a nil value. Why is this a nil value? Because we're passing through self and not V. That makes sense. That should work. 2. Great. So it selects a random map. And then what we want to do is I actually don't know if we can do. No, we can't. We're gonna have to say for IV in pairs map system do. Oh no, for IV map system. For IV map system do. And we'll say we'll create another temp variable. I'll say if temp is equal, temp plus equals 1. If temp is equal to map, then break create a variable called selected map, and we'll say selected map equals v break, and then at the end of this function return selected map. now in here. Yep, and then we return it. Then out of here we can say print game mode. So now what this should do is it will select everything for us, and then we can determine what we want to do with it. So it prints, and let's see it. Capture the flag. Well, since this isn't an object-oriented function, technically, we can just remove all of this. And just keep it like this. Oh. Did not return exactly one value. Oh. I'm an idiot. That's why it doesn't work. Wait until it loads a map. Map 2. Okay, we got it. We did it. Cool. That's the map system working. Technically. So now we have a working HUD, kind of. Well, semi-working one. We also have game mode selection. Now we just need to work on actually changing the map and loading people in and starting the game mode. Okay, so now we need a way to actually filter out the map. We need to spawn the map in, spawn all the players on the map, make it so the game mode actually runs and checks the score and stuff and kills. And we need a way to record those, obviously. Also I changed, I reset my studio settings, so that explains why we're back to default settings here. I actually kind of like them. I don't know why. Right, so okay. We'll say game mode selected .. to string game mode .name. Oh, let's try it out. Guess we got this little like intermission period. Select a game mode. Capture the flag. We'll do one more cycle just to see if this picks anything other than capture the flag, because I've had issues before it just picks one of them. Team deathmatch, cool. So that works, and I actually want to make this like capital letters, so I'll say, why am I two stringing this? This is already a string. I'll say string dot upper, because I want to make it all uppercase. I also want to make this all uppercase. So now it should, intermission, all in uppercase. Selecting game mode. Yep, there we go. And then we'll say change HUD. Map equals ... game mode.map. We need to put all of these in as blank, because if we don't, then it's not gonna do what we want it to do. We also need to leave the timer. We'll just do another 3-second one. So now it'll print the game mode and it'll print the match. A map even. Team deathmatch. It updates the timer. Map 1. Okay, so I'm gonna publish that. And then we'll wait another 3 seconds. And then we'll say... No, we'll actually, put spaces in between these just so it's easier. We could write comments as well, but I'm not going to. Starting... ... We don't need anything after this. And we'll have a timer, we'll do 10 seconds. And then we'll change the HUD and we'll set the time to game mode.limits.time limit. And we will set this to game mode.name. Now we have red Scott. What parameters does this take? State, red Scott, blue Scott. So wait, there isn't even another parameter. So why have I been putting it? Okay, well. We'll set this to 0 and this to 0. We might have to do 2 string for this, but yeah. I'm gonna make a way so that we're not in the game while this is happening and we're in like a menu. Maybe the attachment menu. So it says starting, it counts down. It should change. Yep, there we go. So now that will wait. And, well, now we need a way to record all of this data. And we also need a way to signal that the game mode's begun. So, to do this, what we're going to do is, first of all, we need a way to do teams. I'm just going to use Roblox's teams thing, because that's honestly the easiest way. Yeah, so we can just add a team object, change the color maybe. I cannot see because why is the properties tab not updating? Doing what I want it to do. There we go. Teams, we'll call this one blue and this one red. The colors will be, we'll do really red and probably really blue. Right. Leave everything as default so it'll auto assign. And then for spawn points, what we can actually do is if we ungroup all of this. What is this part? Get out of here. If we ungroup all of this, this is really distracting. And we go, we don't need that. And we go to over here. We can type in spawn location. We have one here. And because we don't want people spawning on the same one, we can scatter them. But what I want to do is go down here. And we're going to set color to really red. So that means the team color that spawns here is the red team. And then we could have ways to stop spawn camping, but honestly, you can probably figure that out. Yeah, I recommend you put a lot more effort into this than me, because I'm just sort of getting the basic idea done. Really blue. Cool. And now we can group everything that needs to be grouped. So I can just select all this. G, we'll call it map 1. Right. So now if I spawn in, we're on the blue team and on the right side. As you can see, there is like a Teams UI at the top. But yeah, we can hide this in code. It's like a line. Now that I think about it, no. I was gonna do free for all, but honestly I might leave that for another video because I'm gonna need a custom sort of team method for it. And we can't just have 2 fixed teams. So I'll probably do a 0.5 episode for this, and it's the last one. So I can explain how to do stuff like that. Okay, so now we have teams. We need a way to record all of our kills and our deaths. So we'll create what's called a leader stats folder, which is basically when the player spawns, so in player added, we're going to create a folder called leader stats equals instance.new folder. So we're creating a new folder, and we can just assign a parent here. So we'll say player leader stats.name equals leader stats. Exactly spelled like this. It's case sensitive, by the way. We'll say local kills equals instance.new int value. That should be in a string, so leader stats kills.name equals kills.value equals 0. And now we can do the same for deaths and assists. These should be strings. We're gonna set all of this, all of these values to 0. And now this is what we're gonna call temporary data. This is stuff that we only really need to know in that one game, and it's removed every round. We can add this to another value which is saved that, you know, says our lifetime amount of kills or something. But for right now, this is just temporary data. We only need this for a round. After every round, the value will be set to 0. But right now, we'll just test it out, see if it works, and yeah. And what you can actually see is, if we look up, hold on, I'll make output smaller. If we look up at the top, you can see that they're labeled. You can have your own like leaderboard system, like custom made, and it shouldn't be too difficult, just as long as you can read from the leader stats and know how to make a GUI, which we've covered technically both of those. And we're going to increase the score. That's another value that we're going to need, and that score will be combined throughout the entire team, and whoever has the most score won't like have an impact in certain game modes. So if the limit's 0, then obviously that won't work. We could actually just do -1 to stop us from having to do these sort of safety checks. But yeah, if there's a score limit, the score limit will try to be reached. And yeah, so if we don't want a limit, like a certain limit, like here, if we capture the flag, we don't want a kill limit, instead of checking if it's 0, because it's going to be 0 by default, so obviously this is an issue because, well, we win immediately, or whoever, they win immediately, both teams, which is not good. So we'll set this to -1, just as a safeguarding kind of thing. So if it's -1, you cannot win using this, because score's never going to go down, unless you really want that. Then I'd probably look for a way to get around this. Maybe just set this to 0, and then check if it's 0. But because in my case, score's never going to go down, we don't really need to worry about that. So let's just not worry about it. We'll create another value called score, which will be also set to 0. Same system with this. Now we need to register whenever the player gets a kill. So here's where we do damage. We pass through the player. This is melee. This is shoot. So what we want to do is whenever a player gets hit, we want to add a kill tag. And that basically means however the player dies next, the person with that tag will get a kill. And then we'll have another one, which that player will be moved to if the player gets shot by another person. So the last person to have shot that player will get the kill, and then the one before that will get an assist. And then for deaths, we just record whenever the humanoid dies, which we can do right here actually. We can say deaths.value plus equals 1. And we can test this out right now. So we have 0 deaths, we reset, there is an error. Is it because we don't have a max ammo in some of the module scripts? Did I like change the name? Well, we'll say and v dot name does not equal fastcast redux, and v dot name does not equal misc. And the reason why I'm doing this is to make sure that we don't select these two. But then there's all of this. Oh well, we'll just do a temporary solution. We'll set nv.parent does not equal game.replicate storage.modules.fastcast redux. nv does not equal game.replicate storage.modules.fastcast redux. And then here we'll do misc. I mean, there's way better ways of doing this. But right now I just want something quick, and that'll work. Oh. If humanoid dot health greater than 0, we can do this. So it shouldn't even trigger. Yep, and our deaths increase. But then we get this error again. I'll say in here I'll say if framework.module.is grenade or framework.module.is melee, and I'll remove it from here. Try it out. Spawn in. Select, we can do damage. Yep, it all looks fine. When we die, our deaths go up. And yeah. Now kills. Kills are going to be pretty hard. We're going to have to register whenever a player gets hit. So here's where we do take damage. And we need a way of carrying data between each cast. So I'll say caster dot is there a way to get like so local active cast equals, and then if I say active cast dot user data equals, oh no, user data owner equals and then player, right? I'll copy the same for our shotguns. Right now I'll just do local active cast equals, and then I'll copy this line. Then when we print this, there should be a value in the table. Okay. Right, there we go. We did it. So that's useful. Then here we can say local owner equals active cast dot user data dot owner. Say print owner. So it prints my name, and then if I click it, it puts me into server mode, but it doesn't. Oh, it selects my player. Okay, so it is the player object. Great, I just wanted to fact check that. That's good, because then we can have local owner tag equals instance.new. If I say value, I'm pretty sure there is a object value. The parent will be hit dot hit dot parent dot primary part. Owner tag dot name equals owner. Owner tag dot value is equal owner. Now we're going to check this in a second to see if one already exists, because then we can just change the value. We don't have to create a new one. So I hit that guy. I'm gonna have to search for him. There he is. Humanoid root part owner. Yep, it's me. Cool. So that works. We'll say if hit dot parent dot primary part, I'll find first child. I'm trying to think. Owner. We'll also put an else. So if we find owner, not do this. We also want an assist tag. So equals, we'll say just nil right now. And then here we'll say v dot parent dot primary part dot assist dot value is equal to v dot parent. Oh, why am I saying v? I need to say hit. Yeah, it's not doing too good today. I'm not doing too good today, I don't think. Owner dot value, and then hit dot parent. Oh my god. Primary part dot owner dot value is equal to owner. And what we can actually do is we can say if owner is equal to hit dot parent dot owner or dot primary part dot owner dot value, and then put another else, paste this. Otherwise, we don't really need to do anything. So we'll just say this, because we don't want this player to hit them twice and then they get a kill and an assist. So we just want to like safety check that. Well, actually, that's it here. We do need to copy this code over to our other weapon scripts. We can just paste all of this. Great, so now it should do the same with the pistol and the rifle. I'm on blue team, so I'm gonna have to run across. So we can close the module script, because now we have a working, well, almost a working score system. When we say humanoid.died, we're gonna say local owner equals character dot primary part dot owner dot value, local assist equals character dot primary part dot assist dot value, and then we'll say owner dot leader stats dot kills dot value plus equals 1, assist dot leader stats dot assists dot value plus equals 1. So when a person dies, we're going to do this, and here, just to be safe, we'll say owner dot value, oh no, because that is value, owner equals nil, assist equals nil, just to be safe. Because you never know. Just testing. And then 2 players, local server, start. Hopefully this works. Okay, so sorry about that cut. OBS decided to die. So anyway, I tried it in the server. I don't think that was put in. I tried it. I don't think that was in the video. I tried running it on a server and it just didn't work. Reading the value shouldn't affect much. Now, what if I do this? I'm gonna publish it just to be safe. I keep checking OBS, I'm like really scared that's gonna happen again. That's why it breaks. So yeah, this is what happened before. The game just breaks for some reason. This guy is technically dead. I have no idea why this is not working. Wait, there was an error, which is kills is not a valid member of player1.leader stats. Did I spell it wrong? Wait, is that a lowercase k? Please don't do this to me. No. I am going to jump off of a bridge. I swear to God. I've never done this before. I mean, I probably have, but I've never done this badly before. Why does it have to load everything in so slowly? No, I murdered this guy brutally. It works. And now we do exactly the same thing with assists, so we can actually just do this. Jesus. The humanoid root part gets destroyed anyway, so we don't really need to set this to anything. I am going to test this out. Assists is more of just like a random thing, we don't really need it. I'm going to test it with 3 players, because one of them is going to get shot, and then the other guy is going to come in and finish the job. But one of the people should get an assist, one of the people should get a kill, one of the people will die. Okay, so OBS really hates me because it crashed again. But basically what I did in that period of time, I realized this should be a capital K, and that's why it was breaking. And then also I made it increase the score by 50 if you kill the person. I made it increase by 25 if you got an assist on the person. I did test it in a 3-player server and it worked fine. Okay, so I'm gonna split this into 2 parts. I know I said I'd avoid that, but honestly, this is probably gonna be too long. I'm actually re-recording this part of the video on the day. We've already gotten a pretty decent amount done. We don't have much to do next time. We just have to we have to work on the kill feed. We have to do the map cycle. Display all of this information to everyone. Yeah. And then that'll get us ready for the final episode, probably. Maybe. I don't know whether to expand it a tiny like maybe an episode. Because I have a few things I want to polish, but I also want to add in a skin store, but I don't really know if that's gonna work. I can explain how to do it, and I can like give a really quick demonstration. No, we will do that. We will do that. Maybe next episode in 0.5. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Part 12.5 will be out in a few days. I'll finish up the game mode system. We can add in a skin system. We can also do like a leveling system, maybe. That would be interesting, because then we could go into like data stores and stuff. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.